guys, just because Jokowi did many bad things, he's still our president for 10 years.
Yes.
And you have to respect him for that. I got shit from both sides.
Yes.
By being literally in the gray area.
Yeah.
The anti-Jokowi people are like, Andovi, we are so disappointed. Why did you say he did good things?
Yeah.
The pro-Jokowi people said, Andovi, what do you mean he made many mistakes? You can't even be nuanced about me saying goodbye to our president who was 10 years.
Yes. You can't be emotional about it.
I don't agree with the Dewan social media thing. I think anytime something has to do with Dewan in the front, it never ends well. It never ends well.
Dewan Perwakilan Rakyat.
Anything with the Dewan, you're like,
what? Welcome back to the Base Indonesian Talks. Today I have a very special guest, media personality, political influencer, and social media superstar, Andovi Da Lopez.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
You, sir. Thank you for inviting me to this show that I can say is the future show of political satire and commentary.
Wow, so much glaze. Anyways, let's get on with it. I feel like Indonesians need to appreciate more musicals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they do. And the thing is, what people don't know is there are a lot of musicals in Indonesia actually. But they're just not publicized in the mass media in which people know about it. So, because when I got into the space, because I'm a recent, me and my brother are recent newcomers to the space as well, right? And I'm like, damn, there's a lot of musicals in Indonesia. But they're just, if I may say, they're fringe. They're fringe, they are niche, they're super niche.
Super niche, yeah.
Super niche. Yeah.
Yeah, are you talking about like the kind of musicals that Broadway does, or?
So it's actually divided into like three. There are those, like for example, like Yesterday, Catch Me If You Can. It's an adaptation of a Broadway, right?
Yeah.
Then there are original ones. There are original ones like Polarisasi. Aulion is doing Musical Dangdut next week, right? And then there are ones that are like Indonesian musical theater, like literally like Indonesian art. And even when I watch those, I'm like, what's happening? But they're just, it's just not out there. And partly, yes, it's niche, but partly because the infrastructure isn't there. There's only 4 theaters in Indonesia yang memumpuni, yang can accommodate big musicals.
I see.
And yeah, in Broadway, in West End, there's a whole street, West End in London, right?
Yes.
In Broadway, there's a whole Broadway. There's off Broadway, there's Broadway. So the infrastructure is not there. But yeah, I think so. I think Indonesia has such a huge potential because we like to sing, we like to dance, we like to act. Indonesia is actually a very singing, dancing, acting culture.
Yes, I would agree.
Opera Van Java showed it to the masses, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, I think so.
So, I got a question. I know we have talked about this off camera, right?
Yeah.
Regarding polarisasi, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like the viewers need to also understand this as well.
Of course.
But like, what exactly is your motive behind making polarisasi?
So one of my motives is my brother and I. I always have to say my brother and I.
Yeah.
Because if not, he gets mad.
You guys are a team, like Anthony and Joe Russo.
Yeah, the Russo
Anthony
brothers.
and the Russo
The
brothers.
Russo brothers. No.
The Indonesia, America has the Russo brothers. We have the Lopez brothers.
Which is a big chasm, but okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
No, but Joe and I love musicals. We love musicals. Fun fact, Joe was a theater kid. I took the IB. I took the IB. Joe took the IB. Joe took theater in IB. I took music, but I was a theater kid who changed to music because of whatever reasons. I've always performed. Like my earliest performances was I performed as, if you know the story, the Emperor's New Clothes. I was the Emperor.
The Peru, right?
Yeah, right.
Story, yeah.
So I was the Emperor. I remember when I was like 12 years old, I went on stage in my school in Denmark without any clothes on, and people laughed at me.
Naked?
No, with underwear.
Okay.
But like,
since then, liberal.
Since then, I've always loved musicals. Anyway, long story short, people think when we talk about politics, it's like, politics. It's always, you talk about politics to the general public. I'm not saying to those who love politics. Politics. Yeah, fuck you guys. Whatever, who cares, right? It's always that. Why Joe and I, Polarisasi, DPR Musika, a rap battle. Prabowo versus Jokowi,
Epic rap battle.
Anies Prabowo Ganjar. We wanted to be where people talk about politics and political entertainment. They're like, oh shit, I'm looking forward to this shit. Just like how I consume American culture greatly. The fact that I know more about Jon Stewart, Trevor Noah,
Stephen Colbert,
all those guys I know, and I get my American politics through these guys. And I watch House of Cards. I watch I'm blanking out the very famous one. Veep.
Yes,
right. Veep.
Yes, Veep.
It's like, for me, it's not even political entertainment anymore. It's entertainment.
Yes.
Legit. Even Game of Thrones, if you think about it, I know people talk about the dragons and the sex.
Yes.
But it's actually politics.
Yes, it's raw politics.
It's raw politics
Yes.
with raw dragons and sex. But
Yes.
whatever. But like, I want Indonesians to have completely different change from the way. Look, and I'm not saying Joe and I started it. I gotta give it up to our elders. Dono Casino Indo tried that.
Yes.
Right. Look, a lot of Indonesian people, a lot of the older generation tried that, and they succeeded. But in the new generation now, there needs to be a revamping of how political entertainment
A
is.
regeneration.
A regeneration,
Yes.
yeah. So that's it. That's basically it. I want to create entertaining things that happens to be politically based.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
I do agree because the thing is, like, a lot of Indonesians, they don't view politics as a form of entertainment.
Yeah.
When if you think about it, politics is a form of entertainment. Yes.
is.
You see the rise and fall of people and how they fall into degeneracy, moral corruption, etc., etc. It's
The backstabbing.
Oh, the backstabbing,
Oh my God.
the betrayal, the deceit,
Yes.
the coercion, the
Yes.
intrigue. Like, it's so spicy. It's like a Spanish telenovela.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do agree with you, because my entire buzzer persona, I gotta speak outside of character.
Go.
My entire buzzer persona is actually based upon Stephen Colbert's early
Before he did late night.
before he did the late night.
Yeah,
Yes.
the one where he played a far right wing character.
Yes. 2000.
I forgot what was it called.
The Colbert Report.
Colbert Report.
Yes.
Yeah, the Colbert Report.
So
yeah.
a lot of people think that this guy's actually a Republican. Like, this guy's a stark raving conservative when it's actually not.
No, it's
He's
not, yeah.
caricaturing as a mad Republican back in the early 2000s, the one that worships Cheney
and Bush and all those guys, yeah.
and all those guys, and Colin Powell, etc., right? Back in character again.
Yeah.
But that is the thing. Like, we gotta start making politics. People view politics as if though it's something that is not taboo, or else we're going to end up like Japan.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Well, people don't talk about politics at all. And last time I went to Japan, I spoke to the people there.
Yeah.
I spoke to this one Japanese guy, and he says he has no future for the politics of Japan because it's filled with old people, and no younger people are interested because they think it's just a job that old people do.
Right.
And yes, I know we're a big country, and there's also an added caveat in that Indonesia is filled, like, it's filled to the brim with young people.
Right.
And there needs to be regeneration as well.
Yeah.
But speaking about political entertainment, I want to move over the discussion to the main course today.
This is the main course.
The main course. The rise of political influencers.
Yeah.
Do you notice that back in 2015, after the Jokowi Prabowo election back in 2014, that elections has been increasingly dependent upon social media, especially once we see the trend in 2016 with the Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton. People in Indonesia, they start using social media en masse, and social media becomes a battleground. And I know, like, a lot of old people, they're very skeptical towards the strength of social media and how it influences electoral politics. But with more younger people spawning into this world and becoming reliant on social media to get information and shape opinions, would you agree that political influencers, the ones that are on the internet, espousing opinions about social issues and et cetera, do you think they play a vital role in impacting people's opinions regarding politics in the 2020s decade now?
Short answer, yes. Long answer, it depends who they are.
Yeah, because, like, Indonesia seems to have oversaturated amount of political influencers. Is it okay if we name names?
Yeah, sure. Name names. No
like
name
your
names.
friends, like Ferry Irwandi, Tanya,
Yeah.
who else? Ali Hamza, Raymond Chin, Inda G,
Right.
Abigail. Those people are political influencers.
Right.
And they seem to have a lot to, whatever they say seem to shape people's perception towards issues.
Right.
And
the thing is, which is very interesting, because I'm going to talk about the people that I know.
yes.
Okay. People think that I am a political influencer as well.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I won't say that I'm not, but I didn't start off that way. And neither did Abigail.
Yes.
Neither did Ferry Rwandi.
Yes.
Most of us talked about social issues.
Uh-huh.
Most of us made funny videos on the internet.
Yes.
It's funny how slowly, whether you like it or not, once you start having a name, regardless of what happens, the people in power are gonna suck you into their vortex of you can influence people.
Yes.
Now there are some who are political influencers. Like when you talk about Bocor Alus Tempo, right? These three hosts, Tota Politik, Rocky Gerung,
Budi Ari.
right?
Yeah.
These people, mereka dari awal mulai they started like I am gonna talk about politics. Whereas if you could categorize these people, they're not all in the same boat.
Yes.
Even though at the end of the day they might influence politics, they're not necessarily beginning to become, they didn't start it off to become a political influencer. So to answer your question, yes, I do think it's going to play a vital role. And I do think that 2014 was our first social media election because Obama's 2008 election was their first social media election, because we always copy the US, right?
Yes, we all.
Whenever the US does it, we're always like late a couple of years, and then we go into
Yeah,
it.
because I remember back in 2012
Yeah.
when I used to open up 9gag. I opened up 9gag.
I remember those days.
4chan and Reddit, right?
Yeah.
It's always a post about shit talking Mitt Romney.
Right.
Yeah, the guy who Mitt Romney, by the way, for you guys,
Yeah.
is the guy who ran against Obama at the time.
Yeah,
Please
also
go
a
on.
billionaire.
Yeah, also a billionaire.
And who's a Mormon. I think his family's a Mormon. I forgot who's a Mormon or not. But anyway, so 2008, Obama was the first social media election.
Yeah.
I mean, Obama's great. Yes, we can, whatever. 2014, Jokowi. People forget early Twitter, right? This is early Twitter for Indonesia. 2014 was Jokowi adalah kita.
Yeah.
Jokowi adalah kita. 2019, it got way more ramped because Pabo Cebong Kampret and everything. Right? Remember Cebong Kampret?
Yeah.
And 2024, we know.
Yeah.
It became with the rise of TikTok. Before it was just Twitter and Instagram and YouTube.
Yes.
But 2024, it was TikTok, it was podcasts. And now, the 2024 US elections, I can finally say that I think podcasts won Trump the election.
Joe Rogan
went on Theo Von.
Yes.
Right, all these guys, right?
Yeah.
Trump went on so many podcasts. And I think, I'm going to call it now, 2029 is going to be Indonesia's podcast election. We've had a taste of it.
Yes.
Some people went to Deddy's channel.
Yes.
Some people went to Deddy's channel to talk about
Yeah.
it, but not everybody did.
Yeah, Prabowo went to Deddy's channel
Right.
after
Right.
the pas waktu masa tenang,
Exactly.
during the relaxation period.
But it wasn't
Yeah.
like massive like Trump.
Yes,
Trump
yes,
went
yes.
Rogan, Theo Von, Andrew Schultz. Like he just went on everyone. I think 2029, because we always copy the US, we're always a few years behind.
Yeah.
2029 is going to become the podcast Indonesian election. So I'm not going to be surprised if you're still here as buzzer in 2029, that whoever's in 2029 is going to sit here talking to you. Whether it's Gibran, whether it's Anis, whether it's Ahok, whether it's whoever in 2029. So yeah, I think we're just getting started. Now, to add to further elaborate, not all political influencers are cut from the same cloth. And I like Ferry Irwandi, for example, I knew him since the beginning. He always talked about social and economic issues. And right now he's focusing on Judi Online.
He also talks about history as well.
History as well, right? It's what I said. If you are politically active and if you politically speak out on anything in Indonesia, you are going to be pulled into whoever's going to pull you in, and you are going to be like, okay, you are a political influencer. But I do believe that Indonesian people can tell the difference between legit ones and not legit ones. I really mean it.
What's the difference between legit ones and not legit ones?
There's a track record.
Okay.
When Abigail speaks, Whether you like it or not, she and her co-founder Faye made What Is Up Indonesia.
Yes.
So when Abigail tiba-tiba ngomong in 2029, people may not agree with her in 2029, but people are like, yo, Abigail's been speaking out forever.
Oh, I see.
Right. But these people, and there are many artists who come out of nowhere, who's never been speaking on any social issues, who come out and say, yeah, go pilih dia, go voting dia. All right, let me see your track record. What did you do to talk about social things anyway?
Yeah.
There's a big difference here.
Yeah.
You might not have the same numbers as these big artists.
Yes.
But when you speak in 2029, people will trust you way more. Because at least Buzzer, udah ngomong dari 2022. Right? And that's the thing. I think track record is very important. You need to see who's been speaking out on these things or not.
So this leads to a very interesting conundrum, right? So like say if an artist or basically an artist from any sort of field, they reach a level of moral impunity that is not like the rest.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they speak out about politics, like say Windah or Raditya Dika.
Yeah.
How do you think people are gonna take it?
All right,
'Cause
let's take Radit's case.
Yeah.
Okay, Radit is a very interesting case. I know Radit since Malaminggu Miko. Radit's my mentor. He's my senior. Radit has always been neutral, always. The only time he wasn't neutral was yesterday. Was the Peringatan Darurat.
Yes.
That was the only time even when he posted. So even I, who knew him, was like, whoa, Radit posted.
Yes.
Each case has a very specific context. Because people, even though Radit doesn't speak out, people know he has integrity. Right? I think I know Radit doesn't speak out as often, but if you know Radit, he has very good integrity. And that's why when Radit posted that Peringatan Darurat thing, people didn't ask, Kok Radit ngomong sih? Radit never spoke out, but because people know Radit has good integrity.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important. But to other, I'm not gonna name names. I only want to name names for people who I know.
Yes.
I can speak out. When other people who never speak out and suddenly speak out, they're like, all right, bro. All right. All right, calm down. However, in another, if being a devil's advocate, specifically if we take a specific context of yesterday's Peringatan Darurat, I wasn't mad that people who didn't speak out spoke out, who had no track record or had no integrity, because specifically in yesterday's context, people were like, ngapain sih lu FOMO banget sih ngikutan, FOMO. I'm like, fuck it. This is something very important to be FOMO about. So even if you had no integrity or you had no track record and you spoke out specifically with this context yesterday, it was forgiven. It's fine to be FOMO of something that is as important as this. But you'll see when there's someone FOMOing about something else, you can tell. I mean, the smart people can tell. Maybe people who are not smart cannot tell. But
yes.
So I feel like you're right. It's only going to grow more than here. In 2024, 2025, political influence is going to grow way more.
Yes.
And it's insane because if I talk privately, if I talk about myself, I never started out to become a political influencer. It just happens to be because I make political content. I'm going to open up to you.
Yes.
I made Rap Battle 2014, 2019.
Yeah.
2014, I made. 2019, I made. After the 2019 Rap Battle, that video got 17 million views on YouTube. The Prabowo Jokowi Dua. Both sides came to me and said, wink, wink. What would it take for us to make you guys say that you vote Prabowo Jokowi? Right?
I see.
And I'm not gonna. It happened. I'm not gonna name names because at that time, all the young kids watched the 2019 Rap Battle.
They all watch you.
They all watched me and my
Indonesia.
brother. Skinny Indonesian, right?
Yeah.
Skinny Indonesian 24. And at that time, Joe and I have always been neutral.
Yes.
Joe and I, our inner circle knows who we voted for.
Yes.
But we never said, I'm voting for Jokowi, I'm voting for Prabowo.
Yes.
Even the Rap Battle, for the people who know me and Joe who were voted for, even when they looked at the Rap Battle, they were like, damn, it's very neutral. Even the Rap Battle is very like, you couldn't tell which way Joe and I were leaning because Joe and I made sure that no matter what our biases are, the Rap Battle had to be neutral. Even the 2024 one, Anis Prabowo Ganjar.
Yeah.
Even then, people couldn't tell because the Rap Battle we made as neutral as possible. So in 2019, they came and said, hey, what would what can we make for you so that you say that you support one or the other, both sides? And we said no to both of them. Even when we made polarisasi pertama, they were like, hey, what can we say that, what can we make so that in polarisasi you're more leaning, because polarisasi pertama was 5 days before the first election, right?
Yeah.
2024 election. So what I'm trying to say is, if you make any content that's meaningful and happens to be political or not political, you are going to get dragged. And I think politics right now in 2024 above, everyone who has a name, everyone who has a following is going to be dragged into this political vortex. However, they're not all cut from the same cloth. People are not going to listen. Like, they're not going to listen. It depends who's speaking.
Yeah, because in Indonesia, the way we view democracy, right? The way we view ideology is that ideology is something that we shouldn't disagree about. We have a set of ideology that we need to agree. That's the condition for us to become a citizen in this very great nation of ours.
Very great nation. Very great nation.
Very great nation of ours.
Yeah.
And so not a lot of people are going to have a sort of argument or discourse regarding ideology, unlike in America, right? So in Indonesia, everybody agrees with everything.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so instead of it becomes an argument about which ideology or which way of doing it is better, it's about who has the most votes.
Yeah.
In Indonesia, I feel like it's kind of like in India in that we're, well, in India, it's a bit different though.
Yeah.
Like in Indonesia, we don't have racial backgrounds as the reason for us to pick this guy.
Right.
But in India, we do, like, ini orang Tamil, this guy is Tamil, so everybody votes Tamil, right?
Yeah.
In Indonesia, we don't, even though, the majority of our presidents come from Javanese backgrounds.
Yeah.
But that's because they're the largest minority. They're the largest group here anyways. And so Indonesia, I can say with confidence that voting and democracy in Indonesia is a full-on popularity contest.
It is.
So anybody that has an impact on people, anybody that has a following, becomes sucked into the political vortex.
Exactly.
And as long as those conditions are the status quo, it's going to keep on going like that. And the more I think about it, the more I imagine what sort of scenarios are we going to get ourselves in the future, right? Because Peringatan Darurat is a full-on movement that was perpetrated from social media. Your boss, Najwa Shihab, posted Peringatan Darurat, and it was reposted by a bunch of political influencers, content creators, and even people who has no stake in politics whatsoever, like Raditya Dika, you know. And that managed to create a social movement that hasn't been seen since 2019 when we tried to
RKUHP.
Yes, Omnibus Law. That hasn't a social movement that hasn't been seen since 2019, 5 years ago. And I think that's amazing how social media has managed to move people on the streets. And what's even more amazing is the fact I have some people inside the government.
Of course you do. Buzzer. Of course Buzzer does.
I have some people inside the government, and they told me that I have some people inside the Presidential Communication Office. That's censored that one.
It's very specific.
Yeah. And they told me that this movement, according to the Menko Polhukam, was organic. So that insinuates that Najwa Shihab and all these political influencers are able to mobilize a mass of people across Indonesia, from Jakarta, Makassar, Surabaya.
It wasn't only Jakarta, it was all of Indonesia. You're right.
Yes. And now it leads me to this question. Do you think Indonesian political influencers will or already have an impact towards all levels of Indonesian society?
Yes. I do feel that.
Could you please elaborate? Why?
Okay. But the key question is all levels of society. I don't know if it's all levels. What made the Peringatan Darurat special was the usually quiet middle class spoke out.
Yes.
That's what it made it specifically like, whoa. Tiba-tiba anak-anak senopati yang kerja di itu tiba-tiba dia spoke out.
The SCBD.
Yes, right. Tiba-tiba when you know when these SCBD kids spoke out.
Yes, I know.
Shit is going down.
Shit is going down because
Yeah.
these people are finance people.
Yeah, and these people don't
Yeah.
like, oh, whatever. I'm still gonna get money, might get paid anyway.
Yeah, they're very money oriented.
Yeah.
Very profit driven.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and it was just specifically, it was just the context. People were just tired of all the MK thing, all the DPR thing, all the bullshit in the law, right? So it was a build-up. Peringatan darurat didn't happen in one day. It was a build-up of the previous election. It was of MK, MA. It was a lot of build-up. But to answer your question, I do think so. But for the I need to be careful on how I say this.
Yes, go ahead. Take
For
this
a
is safe space.
specific lower level of society, for those whose income are not middle class, so middle class and below, I don't think political influencers
Penetrate that.
penetrate that. I don't think so. It's actually the other way around. I think, in my personal opinion, I can be completely wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. For middle class and below, it's the political influencers that I told you about who are not cut from the same cloth as the others. They will be, when the middle to low income hears Ferry Irwandi. I'm not saying, I'm not generalizing.
Yes.
Look, please. The key word is tend to. Kecenderungan.
Yes.
It tends to. They will not listen to Ferry Irwandi. They will listen to RA.
This is hypothetical.
Hypothetical is hypothetical. They will listen to RA. So they will listen to somebody else. I'm hoping everyone knows who RA is. Anyway.
Who, by the way? I'll cut this one out. I
Raffi
promise. Oh, Raffi Ahmad.
So they will listen to RA
Yeah.
and not Ferry Irwandi
Yeah.
when you come to middle to low income.
Yes.
So, and I think the government knows that.
I see.
I think the government knows that. Now, the PR is, and this goes to me as well, how do we stop making it so that the Abigails and the Ferries and the Kanya Chitas
And the Andovi Da
and the
Lopez.
Andovi Da Lopez's, why are we only serving the middle class? Isn't it supposed to be that we also serve those who are not in the middle class? But it's such a hard barrier because it's not a lot of people can do that.
I feel
it takes a specific skill
Yeah.
to do that.
I feel like let's explore this topic.
Okay, let's explore.
So I think it's because the lower income citizens of Indonesia, they a lower income indicates that your income is low, right? And income usually reflects on education as well.
Yeah.
The higher your income is, the higher your education.
Yeah.
And a lot of political influencers, there are preconditions for us to understand exactly what they're talking about.
Exactly.
We need to understand the values of democracy.
Exactly.
We need to understand the values of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Anjay, Amerika banget.
Bahasa Amerika.
And so those concepts needs to be understood first in order for us to understand what you guys are saying. And that's something that the lower middle class, I'm not generalizing, but a lot of lower middle class people, they generally lack or are ignorant about or just oblivious about. And
To be honest, it's not their fault.
it's not their fault. Yeah.
And I'm not just saying it to look cool. No, because they
To
have
look
other things
classist.
too.
Yeah.
They have other things to worry about in your life.
Because obviously, as a
Yeah.
political influencer,
Yeah.
you also try to speak for the lower class people.
Yes.
No matter how hard they try to reject you, you know, you always want to have to, as a political influencer who's trying to put morality in politics, you're also trying to talk for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? But these people, they just don't seem to understand what the political influencers are saying. And that's a challenge that a lot of political influencers are facing. And we understand that the lower income society, they care more for entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah, for drama.
And that's why political entertainment is very important.
That's why political entertainment is important. Yes.
That's why. The key is they will never, and by the way, just a little bit of caveat,
Yes.
not only the lower income, when in Peringatan Durat, a lot of my middle class friends, they had no idea what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
Honestly, like my friends, I had to explain to them why this is important.
Yeah.
They were like, Andovi, why are you speaking out? Like, this shit's important. So not even So let's not speak as if the middle class also knows. The middle class had many of them had no idea why it was important.
Yeah.
But anyway, to topic, because of that, there's a reason why one of the most famous Dulu Si Anak Betawi. It was one of the most biggest TV shows from Indonesia from the 1970s to 1990s.
Yeah, starring Rano Karno. Yeah.
Warkop DKI.
Yeah.
Everybody watched that. Every single class watched that.
Yep.
And they taught many lessons of morality and family values towards all levels of society.
They stole the Pink Panther team as well.
Yeah. but so that's the key. That's why I think it's very important. Imagine if there was an Opera Fanjava, an Extravaganza, a Sinetron that had a TV show that had political entertainment that is digestible to all levels of society, especially to the lower class.
Let me add to you that. Let me answer your question there.
Yeah.
So this was back in 2017 to 2019. Okay. There was a show on Net TV.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the show.
Tangga Masa Kini.
Bukan.
Okay.
I forgot the name of the show.
Okay, yeah.
But it was basically like Extravaganza.
Yeah.
It's like Opera Van Java.
Yeah.
But the stories that they tell are political stories.
Okay.
Stories about social issues, political stories.
I think I know.
You know this?
Yeah.
And
I forgot the name.
It's always set in medieval or ancient Indonesia.
Yeah.
You know it, right?
Yeah. I know exactly. I forgot the name of the.
Kadang ada si ada Sule, ada Andre juga, kadang ada Enzi, entah kenapa gitu. So it has been tried in Indonesia.
It is.
Yeah, but it is not as widespread.
Exactly.
But I love the show. I really love the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of Indonesians, they need to have a lot of appreciation for political entertainment.
Yes.
Because from political entertainment, we understand the dynamics of politics.
Yep.
We won't understand that politicians gravitate towards power, not morality, not just cause, but they gravitate towards power.
For the sake of power. Yeah.
For the sake of power. We learned that from House of Politics, from Yes Minister.
Yeah.
From what else? From all of these shows. Right?
Yeah.
Game of Thrones. Yeah. And that's something that we can only socialize through entertainment. Yeah. And I feel like before we get to that level, political influencers are the first level.
Exactly. The first barrier for the next level, which is political entertainment. And that's what that's what Kajo and I are trying to do. Like if you watch Polarisasi, people think Polarisasi is just this highbrow thing. No. You watched it. It can be highbrow to some level. There are some hard concepts in which Joar and I are trying to explain about AI. And you watched it, right? But there are some like where, oh my God, Andovi and Joar are telling the story about 5 mahasiswa. Bikin tugas kampus. We're trying to make it as so that all classes can make. I've had people watch Polarisasi who got free tickets. So clearly they didn't pay for the tickets. Lower, cause I made sure, because Joy and I was like, not only people who can pay for this. And they were like, I enjoyed it. I didn't know that politics was like that. And that's the key. And to produce it mass is the next level. It's the next. It's hard. It's really hard. But I think political entertainment it's. You know how the Daily Show in the US back in the Jon Stewart days?
Yes.
That was that for the Americans.
Yes.
You get it?
Yeah, I get it.
Americans started to understand politics back in the Jon Stewart days.
Yes.
Right? And that's how they understood politics. But political satire and commentary like that, it doesn't translate that well. A lot of people have tried. Panji
tried in Metro kan?
Yeah, Panji tried Metro. And it's hard.
Bukan Empat Mata kalau nggak salah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So people always try. Look, I'm not saying I'm the only one. A lot of people have tried.
I feel like the only one. Sorry to cut you off. I feel like the only one that works is the Indonesian Lawyer Club.
Yeah, right.
That works.
Right.
Yeah.
But ILC.
Yeah.
It works like it's really hard because it worked for the boomers.
Yeah, it worked for the boomers.
The boomers watch, but Gen Z, they only watch it for the memes and right?
The Sunda Empire episode.
Right. Imagine if ILC can somehow get to the Gen Z. Imagine that.
They should hire you.
Maybe. But
Millennial Gen Z. There you go.
Maybe. And it's
Cornelius, here's the guy.
Cornelius, I know, you know.
Please go on.
But but like, again, I don't know the answer. Buzzer, I don't know the answer. I'm going to be completely honest with you. At the end of the day, Joe and I are just fucking trying whatever we can, and we'll see what sticks and works. And I really hope one day like we can have a TV show. Why am I saying TV show? Because I think that's the easiest penetrable thing. And by TV show, it doesn't have to be on TV. You get it, right? It can be on LTT, it can be on social media, whatever. Nowadays, when people think of TV, it's not on TV, but like that can a piece of content that can penetrate every part of society
and not look pretentious.
and not look pretentious.
Yes,
and it's really hard to do that.
Yeah, because like in
It's really
Indonesia,
hard to do that.
when people do that, it tends to look pretentious.
Exactly.
It's just like moral masturbation.
Exactly.
It's just intellectual masturbation.
Exactly. And in polarisasi, I wasn't trying to be more or less. You saw it, right?
I understand.
You
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
feel like Andovi and Joe were trying to teach us a lesson.
yeah.
People were like, oh no.
Yeah.
And that's the But again, it's a musical, and musicals might be pretentious just by being a musical. I get it, which I get it.
Yes.
But it's a way for me and Joe to learn. Okay, if we can make a musical, let's make other things. Let's make other things.
But I feel like if you guys say that musicals are pretentious, well, you need to get your head checked because
Yeah.
everybody loves music.
Everybody loves musicals. Like and even the songs. Like I have one song called Janji Palsu, Janji Palsu.
Yeah,
right?
I know that,
The Bestari one.
Yeah.
That's not a pretentious song. It's actually a very easy listening blues song.
Yeah, it's blues song.
About Janji Palsu.
Yeah, a Disney villain song.
A Disney villain song.
Because it's in blues.
Exactly. But and anyone can listen to that.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not like some you need to be an IB kid to listen to Janji Palsu. No, you really don't. And
Everybody watches Disney. Come on.
yeah, everybody. So look, it might be 10 to 15 years from now, and it might not be me and Joe, to be honest. But I want there to be some sort of foundation so that the next generation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We voted.
Bukti ko kita voting ini kemarin voting.
Yeah.
Maybe Joe and I are not going to be the ones who do that, but at least we laid the foundation.
Yes, you guys are the pioneers.
Yeah, at least we laid the foundation for the next genius out there. Like even I gotta give it to Axel. Axel bikin Keras Rakyat.
Keras Rakyat is
And I think
awesome.
it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's brilliant. And I'm not just saying that because I know Axel and he used to be my editor. Like
Yeah.
I'm not saying it, but it's brilliant. And I'm very proud.
Yeah.
I just wish somebody else could be like, okay, if Joe and Andovi prove that it worked, let's try it and do it their way. I'm all for it.
I see.
I'm more of the greater good kind of person. It might not be that Joe and I benefit from it, but fuck it, who cares?
Let's explore more about political influencers.
Let's go. Yeah.
How do you think the culture is for political influencers? Do you think political influencers are here in Indonesia more ideological, or are they more by the case by case basis? Because in America they're a bit more ideological.
They're way more ideological.
Yeah, like you see Brett Cooper.
Yeah.
You see Jon Stewart.
Yeah,
you see Hassan Nabi.
Hassan Nabi.
Yeah,
You see
Destiny.
that Destiny. Who's the Shapiro?
Ben Shapiro.
Oh, yeah.
How about here in Indonesia? How would you describe it?
I think it's hard. I think it's case by case because if we look at the fundamental level, like Ben Shapiro disagrees with abortion.
Yeah.
Destiny agrees with abortion.
Yes.
There's a very clear line of issue in which you are pro and you are contra.
Yes.
In Indonesia, apart from a few, there are some. There are no like the 2024 election wasn't an election about pro-abortion or anti-abortion. It wasn't an election about pro this or con this, because we don't have defining issues that are black and white to fight about, and that's what ideological things are about.
Yes.
So we are not we are a case by case basis. We don't. Okay, let's think of a topic that's, if we take it to analogy, that's like abortion in the US.
It's like abortion here in Indonesia.
But like just as polarizing as abortion in the US.
Oh, damn. That is actually really tough.
Right, it's really tough.
Yeah, it's really tough.
There is no, like in America, it's 50, even gun laws, it's 50-50 in America.
If we talk about like infrastructure, everybody fucking agrees.
Everybody agrees.
Yeah, because it's good.
People just don't agree about people corrupted.
Yes.
Right? So it's not about infrastructure is bad, infrastructure is good.
Yeah.
It's not about that. People agree it's good, but it's the way people manage the money and blah, 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 blah.
So basically what you're saying is that political influencers are in Indonesia. They argue more about the political maneuvering.
Yes.
Because like if we take it back to peringatan darurat, all of that is political maneuvering.
Yeah.
And it seems like we want to have a stake in how politicians maneuver in politics.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they want to have a say in what politicians should and should not do when they maneuver.
Right.
So would you say so?
Yeah, I would. That's exactly how I say it. Because look at the big demonstrations. 2009 KWAP. It wasn't a group where there was a group that agreed with KWAP. There was no group that agreed with KWAP and disagreed. No, it was everyone just disagreed. You. Right. But it was the way that a few people wanted to pass it.
Yes.
And we all got mad.
Yeah.
But in the US, there's actually a pro-abortion protest.
Yes.
And there's a contra-abortion. There's a very clear line.
Yeah.
Pro-gun law protest and an anti-gun law protest.
Pro-Starlight, pro-Homelander.
Yes. Yeah. There you go. The closest thing I can tell in
Yeah.
Indonesia where an issue is really divisive, there's two. One is pro-ikayan or anti-ikayan.
Okay.
That's the close, and that's not even that pro-anti, but you get it, right?
Yeah.
Some people disagree with ikayan.
Yeah.
Some people agree with ikayan.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not as polarizing as abortion and non-abortion.
Yeah.
And I think, sorry, only one. That's it.
I have one more.
Oh, yeah, give it to me.
Pornography. Remember back in 2008 when DPR, which was ruled by Democrat and PKS, decided to ban pornography?
Oh,
There was people from Salihara, from Taman Ismail Marzuki, people from the creative industry. They demonstrated, and people from the Hizbut Tahrir, FPI, they also demonstrated. Yeah. So basically, one wanted pornography to be banned because it was decaying the spirituality,
and one didn't want to because we have people from East Indonesia who wears. Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that, right?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And also about alcohol as well. Because a lot of people in Eastern Indonesia, alcohol is part of their culture, right?
Right.
You would say so because you're from Eastern Indonesia.
Alcohol is a big part of our culture.
Yeah. So and that is like you are extinguishing the very fundamental of our culture. That's exactly what they're saying. So I feel like those two issues they polarize Indonesia.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
But it wasn't to that extent of abortion. But you get my point. But I get you. It's like there is
Yeah.
In 2024, what was the polarizing issue? Literally, I'm gonna be completely honest.
Yeah.
In 2024, it's either you're pro Jokowi or anti Jokowi.
Yeah, pro Jokowi, anti Jokowi.
That was it. Either you are anti or pro. But it's not that. Look, like for example, it wasn't that people just hated him. There are good things to Jokowi as well. But you get it.
It's the way he political maneuvers.
It was the maneuver.
It was the maneuvering.
Right.
Yeah.
I posted when Jokowi, the last day of Jokowi, before Prabowo got inaugurated, I posted a lengthy post on Instagram about, guys, just because Jokowi did many bad things, he's still our president for 10 years.
Yes.
And you have to respect him for that. I got shit from both sides.
Yes.
By being literally in the gray area.
Yeah.
The anti-Jokowi people are like, Andovi, we are so disappointed. Why did you say he did good things?
Yeah.
The pro-Jokowi people said, Andovi, what do you mean he made many mistakes? You can't even be nuanced about me saying goodbye to our president who was 10 years.
Yes. You can't be emotional about it.
I was emotional because he was the first president I voted for.
Yep.
Remember, I was 20 when I voted for Jokowi in 2014.
Yeah.
And I said that in my Instagram.
And you're 34 now.
I'm 30. I'm 30.
Oh, yeah, 30.
So I was like, when I made that post, people expected me to be very anti-Jokowi because I'm like, but I was very nuanced. I was like, Pa Jokowi, in the beginning, you gave us all hope, and I'm not gonna lie. In 2014, he was the hope.
Yes, he was the one to be able to bridge the divide between the elites and grassroots.
Yes, he was, and yes, he sort of messed it all up at the end.
Yeah,
and I really didn't like that. But it's not black or white, and just by writing that, I got shit from both sides.
Yes.
Yeah, that's.
You can't even be like gray area about it.
You can't even be gray area about it.
You can't be on the fence about it.
Like, people always call me anak abah because people think I'm so anak abah.
Yeah, but then like I saw you posted this one video while you were in Jalan Jagorawi, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And you were like, gua.
I didn't vote for Abah.
I voted for Ganjar.
Yeah. My vote meant 16%.
I was like, holy shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I told this to Panis, like, Panis, you know I didn't vote for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, and people get mad. It's like, guys, there's nuance. Life is all about nuance.
Yes.
There are many things that you watch Polarisasi, even though you said you like it. I bet there are some parts where you're like, you know what, some parts can be better. Right?
Yeah.
And it's nuance.
Yeah,
That's
it's nuance.
life.
Yeah. It's
But
not black and white.
Exactly. And People can't just fathom this.
Yeah. It's annoying that people can't fathom it.
Right.
Holy
right.
shit. So let's move on to the next question.
All right.
Have there been an oversaturation in political influencers? Do you think Indonesia needs more or do you think Indonesia needs less?
You want me to be the true answer? I don't think we've hit the breaking point.
A breaking point.
So there's this not a breaking point. I don't know what the term is. We haven't hit the critical mass. Sorry, critical mass. Right. It might seem like it's oversaturated, but I don't think we've hit the peak yet. That's what I'm trying to say.
I see.
I think the real oversaturation is when we hit the peak.
Which is in 2029.
Right now, it feels like it.
Yeah.
But we haven't hit the peak.
Yeah.
In 2029, it's going to be the real peak.
Yes.
That's when you see like everyone's just there.
Yeah. 2014 was the beginning. 2019 was the exploration.
2024 was
the refinement.
Refinement.
Now, 2029, everybody knows the playbook.
Everyone knows the playbook.
Everybody knows who to pay off. Everybody knows what to say.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who to track down.
Like, get this video in 5 years from now. Trust me, in 5 years from now, it's going to be the Indonesian podcast election.
Podcast election. I believe that.
It is.
I also believe in 2019. 2019. Fuck me.
Yeah.
I also believe in 2029.
Yeah.
A lot of political influence will actually be players themselves.
Yes. I listen, I'm not gonna lie. Joe and I were multiple times invited to multiple parties
Political
to run.
parties.
And to run for governorship or vice or wali kota. When I said no.
And take it from a guy who really likes power and I'm a student of power.
Yeah.
You should continue to reject it so that your market value goes up all.
And my brother and I did reject it.
Yeah.
But there was a point where my brother almost took it for NTT.
Oh, really?
For NTT.
I see.
But he said no at the end. Because of my NTT blood and my name and everything, if we run in NTT, there's a big chance we can win.
Yeah.
Right? For if it's for Bupati, Wali Kota, whatever. But we rejected it. But I'm not gonna lie, I gotta be introspective. Was it menggiurkan? Was it? Yeah, it was. Was it? What's menggiurkan? Was it tempting? Of course. But I'm not gonna lie and say, oh, I don't want it. I'm at that part of my life where political entertainment is my focus. That's my focus right now.
See.
It might change in 10 years. I'm not gonna be munafik and say, oh, I'm not right. It might, but right now, political entertainment is my shit. That's where I really want to focus my time on.
I see.
I don't know about my brother. I can't speak about my brother.
Oh, the future president of Indonesia seems to be his bio.
Yeah, that's his bio. So clearly you know where he is. But I already told my brother, like, Kajo, if anything, if you fuck up in many things, I'm gonna be the first person to criticize you.
Yes.
Like, I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm gonna be that annoying little brother who'll be like, shut up. No, right. But like, it's hard. And people always ask me, Andovi, aren't you scared that when you go inside the lingkaran setan or power, you're gonna be corrupted as well? I'm scared as shit. Because right now, it's so easy for me to say like, enggak. Oh, gue disuap 50M. Enggak. It's easy for me to say now.
Yes.
What happens when you're in power and the 50M is legit in front of your face?
Yes. Literally a big pile
exactly.
of Apple Washington.
So what I want to do is, you need to make it so that there's a system in which even before they tawarin the 50M, it can never be there in the first place. It's just like, I'm going to give you a very bad analogy. It's just like working out. If you wake up from your bed and all you see left and right are donuts, most likely you're not going to work out that day. Because the environment you are in pushes you to eat those donuts. Right? But if you wake up and you open your room and the room next door is a full fitness gym set.
Yes.
I'm not saying you are gonna go gymming. Most likely. So I want it to be so that if we do get in power, we do our hardest yet so that it doesn't have to be about willpower.
So you believe that the system affects people?
Of course. Right.
Yeah.
Gymming is not about willpower. There are some days where you wake up, you don't want to work out.
Yeah.
There are some days where you're like, this, I don't want to work out. There are some days where you're like, I'm going to do 10 sets of push-ups today. Fuck you. Right?
10 sets of push-ups.
But every gym goers know this. They all say it's the system and the environment that makes you consistent to do the workout.
Yes.
When you're like, okay, jam 7, I'm just going to go to the gym. Even if I don't do a proper set, I do half a set. I'm gonna work out anyway. So I want to Joy and I want to ensemble a team and build a team in which we build the system first so that it doesn't have to be but the willpower of me saying no to 50M. So it won't come down to that. I don't want it to come down to the point where my willpower will be the answer. No, it shouldn't be that. It shouldn't be that my willpower to say no to swap should be the answer. No,
It shouldn't be there in the first place.
there you go.
Yeah.
And make a system so that I don't have to say no.
Uh,
Don't let it, because humans are fallible beings. Every single human has a weakness. I have a weakness. People have a weakness, and I don't want people to play on that weakness. So we make a system before that. But it's hard. To make that system is hard.
it requires a lot of politicking.
That's a lot of politics.
It requires a lot of money being spent out.
Yeah.
Sometimes people get snuffed,
Right.
especially the more we go to the regional areas.
Yeah, the regional areas are
Yeah.
tough.
Whenever we want to crack down on the middle management, they fight back.
fight back, yeah.
It's really hard to fight those systems, but we need to have a set of powerful people.
Yeah.
And they're all agreed to commit themselves for a greater cause, which is to affect that system,
Right.
so that 15 million don't come in the first place.
But call me if I can say one more point. I don't know how much
Yeah.
time we have left. Call me a stupid optimist, but I do feel that if you have the right people at the right places and enough of them. You remember the critical mass?
Yes.
So there's a critical mass theory. Please Google it. A critical mass theory states that basically once you reach a certain point with a certain number of people, things will go off. And I do believe that if there's you don't need all good people because real life doesn't work that way. If you have enough good people at enough right places, I think change can happen. I know people tell me all the time, I know you know, but you got to believe, man. If there's no hope and there's no belief, what's it all for? Right? You got some part of you needs to be naive and stupid enough to believe for it to work. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
I know it's hard. I'm sure there are a few good people that are in the right places that can just like make change.
Now we talk about putting people in the right position to make change, right?
Right.
Do you think that political influencers, they have the ethical responsibility to promote accurate and balanced political views? Or do you think it's just, it devolves in the end about opinion politics, just like in America?
I'm really torn about that because there's a reason I'm torn about that. My heart wants to say yes. These influencers has to be morally, not morally, has to be ideal, has to be fair. But my brain says that my liberalistic side, my liberal side will say, don't they have the right to do and to give any opinion they want? There's a way to make it so that they have to.
Which is?
If they are paid by the people, then they have to. Like, let's just say Ferry, right?
Okay, take for example him.
Let's Ferry, because Ferry is the guy I'm talking about right now.
Yeah.
If Ferry gets his money from the people, then he does have a moral obligation.
Okay.
But if Ferry doesn't get his money from the people and he gets it from swasta or what, you can imbow him, you can tell him to be, but he doesn't have to do it.
Doesn't have any bearing.
Yeah, it has a bearing.
Yeah.
But if he gets the money from the people, like, fuck you, Ferry, you have to do it. That's why I always say, if you work for the government, your money is from the people. You have no say. You have to. But if it's political influencers, unless they get money from the government, from the people, sorry, then in an ideal world, yes, these political influence should be balanced and fair. In an ideal world.
In an ideal world.
In an ideal world.
Sadly, we live
We
in
don't-
a
we-
world where
where it's
everybody
not-
is cruel and opportunistic.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sadly.
Sadly. Sadly.
So, yeah, I guess political influencers, at least they should promote views that necessarily do not harm other people or
Okay.
commit felony.
Oh, I know one.
What?
I know one thing.
Yeah.
If you're a political influencer, I don't mind you espousing your views in which you really believe on. So, for example, let's just say the topic is water should be cold.
Yeah.
If you're a political influencer and you really do believe that water is cold in your heart, and there's a team of no, fuck you, water is warm, then do it. But don't make it seem that in the water is warm team, there's somebody that gave you 10M, and now suddenly you talk about how water is warm. But in your heart, you believe that water is cold. I don't mind if you're a political influencer who completely agree with calon tertentu di 2029. Right? Let's just say a calon runs in 2029 and you as a political influencer completely agree with him and you go all out to be like, this guy is the best. As long as you believe that, go ahead. But what I don't like, if there's A and B in 2029, there's A and B, your heart goes for A and you want to speak for him, but B gives you more money, so you're like, fuck you, yay, B.
Yeah.
That I have a problem with. That I have a legit problem with.
Yeah.
So if you believe in A deep in your heart and A happens to give you money, why not?
Yeah, why
Go
not?
for it.
Yeah.
Because it's aligned with your views.
Yes.
But if you believe in A, but B gives you more money, then you're just an opportunist. So that's where I draw the line.
Can we judge them because they're opportunists though?
Nah, these are all very philosophical questions.
Philosophical questions.
Yes and no. But if you talk about me,
Yeah.
yes.
I see.
Yes, because the second Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
I really believe that line. If you have great power, you have great responsibility.
Because you're promoting views that you don't necessarily align with.
Exactly.
How do you come accountable with the
Can you be
ideological-
responsible for those?
Can you be responsible for influencing people with ideology
that you don't align
even
with.
align
But
with,
I'm
you
sure
know?
you can be responsible when you
Yeah.
espouse views that you're aligned with. Because you're
Yes.
like, no, I believe in this shit.
Yes.
So
Pretty
yeah.
much.
Yeah.
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 I see. Moving on to the next question.
All right, let's go. Love it.
Should political influencers?
Yeah.
This relates to the question that we had before, to the conversation that we had before. In that, in 2029, I believe that a lot of political influencers would actually become players themselves.
Yeah.
But that's what I believe.
Yeah. I agree.
Do you believe that political influencers, should the time come, they should become players themselves, or should they stay out in politics in order to provide an outsider perspective? Because let's speak plainly here.
Yeah.
Both of us,
Yeah.
we're technically political influencers.
Yeah.
I'm even more so me because my content is all about politics at this point.
Right.
So, but we both know people inside the circle. We
Yeah.
both know people in power.
Yeah.
And we know the inner workings of
Yeah.
what goes on inside that circulation of power.
Yeah.
And it becomes increasingly hard to talk about the problem, even though we know what the problem is.
Yeah.
Because we know exactly who we're going to talk about
Yeah.
and whose hands are we, whose face are we going to point on?
Yeah.
Right? It jadi tunjuk-tunjukkan,
Yeah.
jadi tuduh-tuduhan. It becomes a slew of accusations of he say, she say situation, right? And so it's as people who are inside, it's really hard for us to talk from the outsider perspective.
Right.
Wouldn't you think so?
I absolutely
That's
agree.
why I believe that some political influencers should remain outside.
And some should go in.
Some should go in.
Yeah.
Right. What do you think?
I agree with you. A battle is won not only by its foot soldiers, but also by its generals and its snipers and its medic.
Yes.
If we take that analogy, not everyone can be foot soldiers.
Yes.
Some people have to be the medic. Some people have to be the general. Some people have to be the scout or whatever. I'm not here to speak on who should and who shouldn't, but I do believe that some should stay out and some should stay in. But I am not the arbiter for who that should be. But you're right. If everyone goes inside, then who can speak from the outside?
Yes.
If everyone goes outside, no one's in the fucking inside.
Nobody knows what's going on in the inside.
Right. So I do believe, but the real question is, who is the right person to be in the inside and who is the right person to be outside? And that is the real question in which nobody knows the answer to.
Yes.
That is so hard because for you might seem like, okay, I think Abigail should be inside. And I can be like, no, I think she can be outside.
Yeah.
Freddie should be inside. I mean, so it becomes a he said, she said, in my opinion, your opinion.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. That's the real question. I think, the HRD, the human resource department,
yeah.
right? Who should be inside and who should be outside?
Yeah.
That's the hardest part.
Do you think that this should be a conscious effort between all political
I
influencers
agree.
to create a network of people
I agree.
to strategically place themselves inside.
Serikat Kerja. What's in English?
Union.
Union.
Oh,
So if
okay.
you can, well, not a union,
Yes.
but you get what I mean. So like
Unionize.
unionizing, but not really union. But like, imagine if all of us.
Conspiracy. Conspiracy.
Like imagine if all of us got together and be like, okay,
Yeah.
like this is very stupid. Just imagine if all of us got together, like, okay, you go in, you go out, like in a musyawara type of way, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, guys, we all have power in 2029. Let's be honest. Like, raise your hands up. Like the first thing we should do is literally ask.
Uh-huh.
It's such a simple thing. Who wants to go inside? No one. Like, imagine we take 100 political influencers and we assume these are the 100 political influencers in Indonesia.
Yes. Let's talk about the game now.
That's what the game. It's 100. The first thing in this so-called imaginary meeting
Yes.
should be whoever the moderator is. Let's just say you're the moderator.
Okay.
You're the moderator. You're like, okay, go Bazar. Dari 100 orang di sini, 100 people here. Be honest in your heart. Who wants to be inside the government? Okay. Let's just say from the 100 people, 50 people put their hands up.
Yes.
Okay. From the 50 people, so we clearly kick 50 out.
Uh-huh.
So in this 50, okay, you guys stay outside, yeah? Because
Yeah.
clearly you don't want it.
Yeah.
Okay, from the 50 people, let's all musyawara mufakat from the 100 political influencers. From these 50, let's vote who you think is actually deserving to be inside.
Oh, okay.
So make it into a thing, make it into a proper thing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's gonna yield the best results.
Yeah.
But we actually try something, right? It might completely fail, it might completely work, but at least we're trying something. Because right now there is no system.
Uh-huh.
Right now no one's gonna know anything. Who knows in 2029 tiba-tiba Abigail masuk, tiba-tiba Kania masuk. There was no conversation leading up to that.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I mean, right?
Yeah, I know.
That might. So let's make a system. Every system is fallible. There's always going to be a hole in the system, but we should at least try something.
Some people, or do you think that it should be like a natural selection kind of way?
It might have to
It
be.
could be a natural
It
selection.
could be a natural selection kind of
Because
way.
like the way that we can conduct it is like
Yeah.
what I observe from the political influencers discourse is that either like you say we create a musyawara mufakat or we use the the Komdigi Kominfo framework, which is the Dewan Sosial Media,
Oh yeah.
or then we create a political party,
Yeah.
or it's between all of those frameworks. So which one do you think is most wisest?
Damn, I really don't know, but I don't agree with the Dewan social media thing. I think anytime something has to do with Dewan in the front, it never ends well. It never ends well.
Dewan Perwakilan Rakyat.
Anything with the Dewan, you're like,
What? Crazy,
right?
Yeah.
It's gotta be natural. It's gonna be organic. It's
gonna be
It's
organic.
gotta be organic in a way that I don't know the answer, but it's gotta be organic.
It's gotta be like in 1926 when pemuda-pemudi dari Minahasa,
Right,
dari
and it was so organic.
dari
yes,
Malaka,
yes, there was a
dari-
push. Yes, there was a push.
dari-
Don't get me
dari
wrong. There must be a bit of
Jawa,
push, but it had to
Salamis.
start from something organic that was later on pushed.
It needs to be a Kongres Pemuda lagi ya.
Yeah, it needs to be, and who knows? Who knows? Like, let's just say in this imaginary 100 political influencers meeting, let's just say at the end we agree with 10 people.
Yes.
Let's just say and then 10 people. Let's just say it's Kania, Ferry, and Abigail.
Yes.
I'm just saying these names over and over again. Because it's the easiest.
This is because they're literally like when we talk about political influencers,
Yeah.
they're the codifiers.
Yeah. So imagine Kania, Abigail,
Yeah.
and Ferry. Okay, kalian di dalam ya. You guys are inside ya.
Yeah.
Okay, good. After that, what's the next step? Should it be that once they're inside, they have to have a regular meeting once per month to meet with all the other political influencers?
Yes.
In which we're like, okay, Abigail, Kania, Ferry, what's going on in the inside? F you, did you do something bad? right. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. No one knows.
Yeah.
Or we rotate. Another 3. You do 1 month. Another 2 months, the other one goes in. I don't know.
Oh, that's going to create a power struggle though.
Right.
It's going to create a power struggle.
Again.
Yeah.
But there needs to be something.
There needs to be something.
I don't know what the thing is. There are way smarter sociological anthropologists who can work this shit out. I'm just saying a general idea.
Yeah, a Congress seems to be in order.
Yeah, a Congress. Yeah.
A Congress seems to be in order so that political influencers would be more mighty.
Right.
Anjir. But it seems the future is Looking great for us, political influencers.
It is.
Yeah.
Specific on political influencers, yes. Right. But remember, whatever you do, if you are a political influencer, and I'm also talking to myself, kind of, just remember why you did this in the first place.
Because people often lose their way.
They lose their
once they forget why were they in.
And this is to me as well. Sometimes I'm like, once I'm in the trenches, because when you're creating, it's never gonna be always a great day. Once when I was in the weeds of doing politisasi and there was just shit going on, the script was not going well, the music was bad, the set wasn't made. There are many times when you want to give up and you're like, fuck this. Right? But you have to go back to the anchor. Me and Joe and I ask each other, like, why are we doing this? Because of A, B, C, D, F, G. Right? Make it so that you always, in a certain period of time, always ask yourself why you're doing this. And make it into a habit. Because when the tough times fall, and they will, when these fucking tough times will fall, always have a system, whatever it is, to be like, why are we doing this? Why did we do this in the first place? And that got us to when our music wasn't happening, when the music was just bad and the script wasn't doing well in politisasi, Joe and I was like, okay, Kajo, just calm the fuck down. Why are we doing this? And that got us through. And I believe that can also be translated to political influencing.
Philosophical question.
Okay, good.
What if halfway through the journey you kind of lose that reason in the first place?
Okay. Do you know the sunken cost fallacy?
Yes.
So there's a very famous cost fallacy called sunken cost fallacy, in which, a quick thing, if let's just say you put $80 into an investment company, you should put 20 more to make it 100, but it looks like it's not gonna work. But then people put the 20 anyway because you're like, I've already put in 80, so what's another 20? Right? That's actually called a sunken cost fallacy, because sometimes you don't have to put the other 20. Sometimes just backing out and saving that 20 is great. Sometimes, if you're halfway in and you want to back out, I'd rather you back out than just finish it halfway just for the sake of it. But it takes a big kesadaran diri.
Willpower.
Willpower to back. I'm already halfway in. Fuck this. I just want to have a farm in Jawa Tengah. Right? I just want to chill in Bali. Whatever. And it's fine to do. No one's going to call you out on it. I'd rather you do, if you know, let's just say halfway, philosophically halfway, you're like, fuck this. Remember the sunken cost fallacy. You don't have to finish something just because you already put half your work in. It's okay to back out. But make the decision, like, write your pros and cons clearly. Like literally, like, don't make it into a decision that you just make like, oh, I'm lazy, I'm tired. No. Like, properly, like, go through it. Because
people, once they lose exactly the reason why they got in there in the first place,
then you lose everything.
They end up clinging to what they will get in the end. That's when power starts to corrupt you.
There you go. Once you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna go the 50% more way, because I'm gonna get this Y, A, B, C, D, F, G at the end.
But then that's why a lot of people who are in power are lonely as
Oh yeah.
Because they have all they got that, but they don't know exactly what to do with it, because they lost the reason in the first place. They divorced their wives, cheated on them, they lost their kid, they lost their dream job, or the stuff that they want to push in the first place.
Right, you're right.
What's left to them is just power. So power doesn't become the means; it becomes the end.
It becomes the end.
Yeah. Holy shit.
That was a damn buzzer.
What's your favorite Hamilton song?
There are many, but I want to be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens, the room where it happens.
Yeah.
Because that talks about power in such a poetic way.
Yeah. Because so have you watched this one movie called Vice?
Vice as in
Christian Bale as Dick Cheney.
As Dick Cheney. But even though he became really big and fat as Cheney.
Yes,
I haven't watched though.
In that movie, in that one scene, it starts in the first 15 minutes of the movie, right?
Is it the shooting scene? Where he shot his own.
No. It's not
okay.
So like in this scene, Dick Cheney was still an intern in the House of Representatives.
Okay.
He was interning for Donald Rumsfeld.
Okay.
Donald
It
Rumsfeld.
was Secretary of Defense or something.
He is going to end up as the Secretary of Defense later on. Donald Rumsfeld was Republican. He was played by Steve Carell.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And Steve Carell, Donald Rumsfeld, Steve Carell called in Dick Cheney, Christian Bale. He's like, do you see what's going on in that room right now? President Richard Nixon goes to Secretary of Defense's room. Sorry, not SecDef, Secretary of State room at that time.
Yeah.
Henry Kissinger.
Oh, Kissinger. Wow, the God of War.
The God of War. the person above Suharto.
The God of War.
The God of War. So Kissinger, which was kind of ironic because Henry Kissinger is supposed to be a diplomat, right?
Yeah.
So Henry Kissinger was having a conversation with Richard Nixon inside that room. And then I remember what Donald Rumsfeld said. Steve Carell's the character. He said, inside that room, right, 10,000 kilometers from where we are standing, a village in Cambodia will get bombed. People will die. Villages will be burned. And it's a decision that is made inside that unassuming room, inside this building. That is power.
That is power.
If it doesn't give you a hard on, I don't know what.
Wow.
That's what.
I should watch Vice.
You should watch Vice.
Yeah.
It's a lesson about power and the dangers of it. I love it so much. And yeah, my favorite is the King George.
The King George. Yeah. You say
the price of your love is not a price that you're willing to pay. You say.
I love he comes out like a King George.
Yeah, King George.
La 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 la.
Yeah,
with
the
crown.
crown. Yeah.
Love it.
Bruh.
I watched Hamilton in Broadway in 2019.
That is insane.
Changed my life.
Yeah. I watch Hamilton in YouTube.
Bro, they were in Singapore, but they're not in Singapore anymore.
Yeah.
Like 6 months ago, they were in Singapore.
Really?
Yeah.
But
they're already off.
With Lin-Manuel Miranda?
No. The
I
third
see.
generation cast. I didn't watch it with Lin. I watched the second generation cast. Yeah.
I hope your crusade in musicals managed to transform the whole entertainment industry here.
Thank you. I really do. And it's not me. There are many great people as well.
Yes.
But specifically in the political musical crusade.
Yeah, the political musical.
That's the one I specifically want to get into.
Because if you think about it, America has so much political musicals, right? Hamilton. Yeah,
There's this
that's
one.
Just one of it.
Even the Book of Mormon is actually very political.
Yeah.
You should watch that too.
If I'm not mistaken, Nixon also has like a musical.
Yeah, he does.
Nixon. So I just wish you the best of luck in the musicals because I actually love musicals.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Like, oh my God. I when I was a kid, I watched this one in Australia. It's called Chorus Line.
Okay.
One singular sensation.
I know that song. I know that song.
Moment, every move that she or he makes.
Yeah.
Because when the girls sing it, it's she, and the boys sing it, it's he.
Okay.
Yeah. And that song has managed to took me through tough times in life.
Got
you
it.
know, because I know for a fact that if you put your heart into it, the show must go on, and you will rule the stage.
Can I be completely honest?
Yes.
Like my favorite musical of all time is Hamilton.
Yes.
But people are gonna hate me for this. But the reason I got into musicals, don't laugh, it's a judgment-free zone.
It's a safe space.
Was actually High School Musical, and there's a reason. There's a specific reason.
Yeah.
So I'm a basketball fanatic.
We're all in this together.
Troy and when High School Musical came out, I was like 13.
Yes.
I was 13. So I remember, and back in the day, schools were still like, yo, basketball kids shouldn't hang out with theater kids. It was like really.
What? Really?
Back in, yes.
Basketball kids shouldn't hang out with other kids?
With theater kids.
Why?
Because they're lame and they're boring.
What do you mean? Theater kids are like one of the most interesting people ever.
I mean,
yeah.
Back then it was still like.
So much judgment.
So much like, back then it was like, if you're the jocks, right?
Oh my God.
I know.
The trope.
Oh
my God.
So
when
when I was playing basketball and I was really into basketball, I still am now. I'm a big basketball fanatic. Troy Bolton's character gave me hope so that I can actually sing and dance.
Sing and dance.
And my basketball buddies were like laughing at me, like, bro, come on, if you're a basketball player, you can stop this shit. I'm like, no,
That's so endearing.
yeah, but Troy Bolton showed that you can sing and dance while playing basketball. And High School Musical got me through my middle school to high school years because it showed that you can be anything you want. You can be a basketball player and you can be a theater kid.
Yeah.
But back in the day, back in the early 2000s, it wasn't as...
It was that era was full of judgment.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like if you're
Exactly.
weak, you're automatically smelly.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I remember like when I auditioned for my first musical in middle school, I remember people laughed at me, but Troy Bolton, with the popularity of High School Musical, it gave everyone a pass.
Yeah.
So High School Musical gave me like, it's okay to sing and dance while playing basketball. You're no less of a man by doing that, because back then it was a real stereotype.
Yes, it was a real stereotype.
It was a real stereotype that if you're a musical kid, like again, I'm not gonna look. It's very hard to say it now, but kids back then, like especially guys, they would be like gay.
Yeah, it's a huge issue back then. Like if you sing and if you dance, you're like gay.
And it's not.
Yeah,
like,
it's not.
It's not.
Yeah.
Are there a lot of gay people in musicals? Yes.
Yes.
But it was a real thing in which other kids who were like, I don't want to be called that. No, I'm masculine.
Yeah.
But it gave me a pass, so that's why High School Musical got me through that.
Yeah, that's so nice.
High School Musical got me through that. That's why.
Nice.
Until now, that it's my guilty pleasure watch is to go back and watch High School Musical.
Yeah. My favorite, my other favorite musical is Les Miserables.
Oh, Les Miserables is that was in 2013. So I was old enough to understand. But Les Miserables got me to a point where musicals can talk about real shit.
Yes.
Right. It can talk about real.
Yeah.
It's about the French fucking Revolution. Like that's when I realized that the musical can be powerful.
Can be powerful, yeah.
Valjean, lost.
We see each other play, Monsieur la Mer.
That was beautiful.
You wear a different chain.
And the song, Anne Hathaway sang it. When she was being RAPED. I can't say it. Get demonetized.
Violated.
Yeah, violated.
Yeah.
That song is very powerful.
Yeah. The whenever the crowd sings the songs, do you hear the people singing the songs of angry men?
I watched it in West End. I watched Les Miserables in West End, London, and it's just as powerful as in the.
I know, right?
It's just you're just like.
Have you seen that one video where like the Valjeans of the world, like from Italy,
all
Japan, they all meet up and they sing like in different language.
Yeah.
Like it's so insane that Les Miserables is such an icon that people translate it into different languages.
Yeah.
One day I really want to see Les Miserables being translated into Indonesian.
That would be.
Yeah.
Apakah kamu dengar mereka bernyanyi?
I mean,
yeah.
We can work on the words. We can work on the lyrics.
Work on the words.
Yeah. Man. So great to see a fellow musical guy. I don't know much about musicals, but I do love some musicals.
Yeah, man, look, as long as you love music. Like, by the way, everyone, watch Wicked.
Yes.
Please, it's amazing. If you haven't watched it, watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Wicked is... It is. You gotta watch that shit, okay? Wicked. But like, please do watch my friend's musical Aldion. Alion's making Musikal Dangdut. It's this weekend. It's tomorrow, actually, the first show. I mean, tomorrow by the time we're shooting this. I don't know when you release it, but watch it because it's a musical about Dangdut. It's the first musical with Dangdut.
Mm-hmm.
So he's also breaking barriers.
Yes.
Because people don't think Dangdut can be a musical. So I'm loving it. There's a new renaissance. You can feel the resurgence of musicals.
Yes.
You can feel it. And I'm loving it.
I feel like it's because like the people that were nerds back in the days, they now have money and power. Money and power. We can literally do anything. The weebs literally start millionaire companies and shit. Yeah.
I remember because I'm Asian, Indonesian, went to school in Denmark and Norway because of my mom's job. I remember I used to watch Dragon Ball. People laugh at me for it. Because it wasn't cool to watch anime and manga.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It really, now it's accepted.
When I was in Australia, they said the same thing as well.
It's like, what are you doing, bro? Like, weirdo.
Even in Indonesia, when I was like a kid, when I went back from Australia to Indonesia and I played games, people look at me weird.
Exactly.
Yeah, girls didn't want to go out with me because I play games.
And now, if you're a nakama in One Piece, people think you're the coolest people
Yeah,
ever.
you're like the coolest guy ever in the room. Like you literally like sing the
Arunewo,
suddenly somebody throws something at you and it's somebody's panties.
Now being a weeaboo gets you girls.
Yeah, man.
Or guys, whatever you prefer.
Yep, depends.
Yeah.
It's a free world.
a free world.
Future. It's free.
By the way, what's your favorite comic? Right now it's One Piece for me.
My favorite comic right
Of
now.
all time.
Of all time. Wow, this is a tough question.
Right. I mean, all time for me, because I read it because when I was a kid, it was Dragon Ball.
All time.
All time is Dragon Ball, but currently it's One Piece, of course.
I see.
But I grew up with Dragon Ball. Right?
All time, yeah.
When Goku went Super Saiyan 1, for me, 2 weeks I couldn't stop going like this. Right?
my
Super
God.
Saiyan 1, right? So,
My
but what did you grow up with? Like, what did you... What?
I grew up with a lot of shit, to be honest.
Okay.
I grew up with Dragon Ball. I grew
Yeah,
up
of
with
course.
Hellsing.
Hellsing. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I grew up with Naruto as well and
course.
Bleach. I
Bleach.
grew up with Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Dude, wow.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's a masterpiece. The anime is really good.
Yes, I consume a lot of media back when I was young.
Okay.
Yeah, so like whenever somebody tells me or asks me like what did you grow up with or what's your favorite comic of all time, like I literally do not know how to answer
Because
that.
you grew up with everything. Yeah.
Because I grew up with everything. But right now I really like reading so I like to go to like manga sites and I don't look for specific titles anymore.
Okay.
I look for tags.
Ah.
Yeah. So I go look for my favorite tag
Is?
in manga is psychological.
Oh, so the Death Notes of the world.
The Death Notes.
The
Yes.
Death Notes of the world. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
If
got
you ask
it.
me my favorite anime of all time, it's Code Geass.
Of course I know Code Geass.
Yeah.
I mean I know of it, of
Yeah.
course, but I don't read
Well,
it.
I'm Buzzer, so I need to like Code Geass.
Okay. Code Geass, yeah.
Yeah. I consume a lot of shit.
Me too.
Yeah.
I grew up with Hunter x Hunter.
Oh yeah, I grew up with Hunter x Hunter too.
Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, of course, the big three.
Yeah, the big three.
Attack on Titan, Death Note.
I also grew up with Death Note as well.
Yeah, I grew up with that.
Sailor Moon.
Yes, Sailor Moon.
Yeah, strangely Sailor
Digimon,
Moon.
if you remember.
Digimon, yeah, I had the game in PS1,
Yeah.
PS2. I grew up with Kamen Rider as well.
Oh, Kamen Rider is a good one. Yeah, it's a great one. It's a great one.
My favorite Kamen Rider back when I was a kid was Ryuki.
Ryuki, yeah. It's a
Yeah.
great one, yeah.
And my favorite Kamen Rider of all time is Kabuto and Decade.
Yeah, I know Kabuto. I don't know the other one.
Decade is the Kamen Rider in 2009,
Oh,
where
okay.
he can turn into previous Heisei and
Oh, wow.
Showa riders. I literally talked about this at Adriano Colby. We talked about Kamen Riders.
But yeah.
Yeah.
See, right now talking about anime, this is cool. Back then, people would be like, what the
Yeah, like what the are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
get rid of that, man.
Yeah.
That is heresy.
That is heresy.
Yeah.
That is your lame weeb.
Yeah. Weeb, gay. Yeah.
That was the thing. That's
Yeah.
how they make fun of you.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Now, to think about it,
Yeah.
we've gone so far from politics to entertainment to manga. We've gone so far, Andovi.
Yeah.
And to think about it, I have like one final question, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever thought that your life will be in this position now?
Absolutely fucking
What did you dream of as a kid, and
absolutely not.
how do you compare it with your position right now?
I grew up in a prototypical Indonesian family in the sense that our mothers and fathers wanted us to be lawyer, doctors, engineers. You get it right.
Yeah.
So my biggest brother,
Well, your parents are diplomats, right?
so my mom is.
Oh, she speaks a lot of language.
Yeah. My mom is a diplomat. My late father is an activist. But my biggest brother, not Joe, I have another big brother, is a doctor, FKUI, doctor. Kajo is Fisika Nuclear UI.
Wow, he can make nukes for us.
Yeah. I took law in UI.
Yeah.
So we were the prototypical Indonesian family yang anak jadi kerja di ini riset, dokter, technology, engineer. Lawyer. I thought I was gonna become a lawyer. I really did. I mean, in FAUI semester 1, semester 2, my IPK was 3,7.
Wow.
I was a great student.
Wow.
So I really thought I was gonna become a lawyer or anything in the law world. Little did I know YouTube changed my life. When I made Skinny Days in 24. Never in a billion years would I have thought I would have been in this spot right now. But it's funny how life is. Although I don't do law anymore, a lot of my shit has to do with law.
A lot of your shit has to do with
A
law. Yeah.
lot of my shit has to do with law.
Yeah.
Right? So, yes, I'm not in that space anymore, but I understand basic law because I went to FAUI for 4 years.
Yeah, people can't really play the law around you because
they can't fuck with me because I know even contract
know
law,
law,
I know,
yeah.
but I learned about KUHP, proper profit, the constitutional law. I learned about all this shit.
Ius sanguinis.
Ius soli, ius sanguine. So this is the shit I learned.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, back to the thing, because you said how social media changed everything.
Yes.
Back then, YouTube changed everything for me. I started YouTube in 2011 and Skinny in 2024. By the way, my first video was me singing. to show you that I love singing. My first video wasn't a sketch.
What were you singing?
Imagine by John Lennon.
Imagine if the world was chocolate.
Imagine all the people.
Imagine all the people.
So that was my first song. I covered a song because I told you off air, I want to become a singer. That's my real dream.
Yes.
But reality hits me because to be a singer, to be talented. So you need to.
What do you say? You're talented.
I mean, not vocally, especially right?
Yeah.
So, and I went to sketches and then never looked back. And once I did the sketches, Skinny's 24 grew. I was called in to play Malaming Umiko. I was called to play in movies and TVs. And it all started by me uploading one video on YouTube.
Wow.
And that's how it all. And again, back in the day, uploading a video on YouTube, there was no career in that.
Yes.
Like, you need to understand. Right now, there's a career.
When was the first time you uploaded a video?
2011.
2011.
2011, yeah.
That's when PewDiePie started.
Yeah, 2011.
Yeah.
I uploaded a video. I still remember 24th of June 2011.
Yeah.
I still remember. That's my first video. Shit happens. I got my first money from AdSense 2016. So it was 5 years before I got any money from what I did. So it's like, to answer your question, no, never realized it. And if I spoke to my 17, because I made my first YouTube video when I was 17. Remember,
Yes.
2011 is 13 years ago. I'm 30 now, so I was 17. If you ask that kid who sang Imagine by John Lennon, I would be here right now. No.
That can't be me.
That can't be me.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Like in life, every time I feel bad in life for whatever reason, because people feel bad in life because all my careers, whatever, my job, my life, the money, whatever.
And my girlfriend left me.
Right?
Yeah.
I always look back. I always literally go like, Andovi, remember when you were 17? You would have dreamed to be in this spot right now. Even though back then I didn't know this was gonna be a thing. Right? You get what I mean?
I get what you mean. Yeah.
I didn't know. But like, so yeah, it's crazy. It's insane that I can write a musical and perform it for 10 shows in GBB. Just insane. If you told me when I was 17, never in a billion years I would have thought it.
You would call somebody to pick up a mental patient.
Exactly. I thought I was gonna become a lawyer. So did you think that you're gonna do that? I mean, I don't know what you wanted to be when you were in high school or kuliah.
I wanted to be an arms dealer.
So you're actually on your way. You're actually it's actually a good career path.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
Yeah, I know.
I'm looking for clients right now.
now.
Yeah. But back then I had a variety of dreams.
Right.
I started off wanting to be a doctor.
Okay.
And I realized I absolutely suck at maths.
Okay.
And so I think I should be, what am I good at? I don't know. I want to be an arms dealer, but people say it's a dangerous job. And then people keep on saying that you should join politics. You should be a writer. You should be somebody who works on media.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe.
Yeah.
Now I don't know what I am. I'm just serving the country as a buzzer.
Yeah. And,
Yes.
and it's, trust me, out of everybody in this world, I completely understand that what you do is legit. Because right now, making shit on the internet is legit.
Yes.
Back when I did it, people laughed at you.
YouTube really changed the game
It
and the
changed the
life
game.
of everybody.
When I remember when I made my videos and my seniors in FAUI were like, "Lu ngapain?"
Weirdo.
Kaya, you are in the most prestigious law university in Indonesia and you're making videos online. They didn't even say YouTube
Yeah.
because it wasn't a thing.
It wasn't a thing back
Right.
then. Yeah.
So it's, my mom only thought my job was legit once they wrote the first newspaper article on me. That was the first time.
That's when your mom stopped yapping about,
Yeah, that's-
Andovi, get a proper job.
Exactly. That's when she was like, wait, my son is doing something.
Oh shit, my son is on newspaper.
Yeah,
I should.
because for the boomers, that's what legitimacy is.
Yeah,
Just think about it.
legitimacy. Yeah, yeah.
For them, being on a newspaper is legitimate.
Yeah, legitimate. It's legit.
And they wrote an article. I remember it was a Compass. It was a Jakarta Globe article. I don't know if they still have it because right now it's a Jakarta Post or whatever. It was a Jakarta Globe article. It was an international article in 2014, and they wrote, the Da Lopez brothers, Andovi and Jovial, game changers. And this is 2014, like November 2014. And I showed it to my mom.
Yes.
And my mom, and I was like, game changers. You see this? You see this shit? And at that time, I was like, oh, my son's doing something. But back when that newspaper article was written, still had zero money.
How did your parents took it though? Like when you started making content until you make money on content. Like
They thought it was a phase.
it was a phase.
They thought it was whatever. He's
they're
gonna
gonna
pass.
pass.
He's gonna pass. You're gonna become a lawyer, become a physicist, whatever. But once the first AdSense checked, and it was little, and I remember I showed my mom, I was like, Ma, this is my first AdSense ever.
Yeah.
And back then AdSense was such a weird thing.
Yes.
Right now, but back then I was like, and I was so proud, even the nominal wasn't big. And my mom was like, damn. And she never questioned me ever again.
Damn.
It's crazy.
It really did change your life.
It changed my kind completely.
What's crazy is that you make sketches. You're a comedian basically.
Yeah.
A lot of comedians, they're graduates. Apa mereka lulusan kampus-kampus OP udah gitu. Like they graduate from something that is like so serious.
Serious, yeah.
Like people from Monty Python. You
Yeah,
know?
they're all the Monty Python guys. Yeah.
Philosophy, French literature, Latin.
They're all crazy people, yeah.
Crazy people, man.
Yeah.
Wow, it really did change your life.
It changed my life.
Yeah. Wow, we've been through so much in this conversation.
Yeah, your team is like, when is this conversation gonna end?
Yeah,
Okay,
like, look at this guy. He's like, come on, end it, man. He's on his phone right now. But anyways, well, thanks for joining this discussion, man.
Thank you, Buzzard. I appreciate it.
Andovi Da Lopez, social media superstar in Indonesia.
Appreciate it.
A media personality, a political influencer, and Indonesia's biggest hype man.
I love that. I love that shit. For those of you who don't understand that reference, watch his previous video. Watch his Jakarta video.
So I actually watched you twice throughout the entirety. Let me be honest.
Hey, I'll go there.
Throughout the entirety of me living in Indonesia, I've only watched you twice.
Okay.
One was the first epic rap battles.
2014 or 2019?
2014.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was like, what the f***? Back then I was a huge weeb. So when I saw that, I was like, anjir ini orang siapa? And the second time was when you talked about the beginning of the Indonesian presidential elections. The elections are coming, buzzers are everywhere. I'm like, bro, this guy's a hype man. So that's why, like, in my video, I call you resident hype man.
Yeah. I love it. Honestly, I love that. Like, resident hype man.
I hope you don't take it for offense.
No. I don't take anything offense.
Yeah, I'm trying to write it as if though I'm an outsider.
I love it.
But anyways, thank you for joining this episode of Based Indonesian Talks, Andovi. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe, Subscribe. Join my Discord channel to get your daily degenerate stuff going on there.
Daily degenerate.
To radicalize your political mindset as well. Join my channel.
Daily degenerate.
To be indoctrinated as well. Join my Discord channel, and I'll see you in the next episode of the Based Indonesian Talks. See you guys. Intro ya.
Oh, belum ya?
Oh iya, intro belum.
Intro, yeah.
Intro.
Okay. It's gonna be a few seconds.
Yeah, all good. That was a nice talk, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Refreshing.
It's very refreshing, yeah.
Subscribe to the Based Indonesian Show. Dijamin halal.